All right. Hold on. Let me share the screen. I'm going to share Microsoft Whiteboard. So sorry about that. I thought I sent it, so I don't know how that happened. My mistake. I think I sent it for the first class twice by mistake. That's probably what happened. All right. Anyway, let's do this together. Here it comes. All right. Wait, they can't see that. Let me try it now. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. See if this works. All right. Good. Good. Okay. So let me just. So I'm going to go through as much of the worksheet as I can. Okay. Let me just zoom in. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. So for the first one, okay, we have the square root of 81. Okay, let me just zoom in a bit. Okay. So for the first one, we have the square root of 81. Okay. Okay. So what is that going to equal? Well, that's going to be 9. I mean, it's really by what's above it. Basically, it's going to be 9, and that's since 9 squared is 81, right? But again, that's really not enough. You have to make sure it's non-negative. And we know 9 is non-negative, so we're good. Okay, so that works. So we have that. Okay, so now let's do the other one. Let's do the square root of 64, which you guys can't see, which everyone cannot see. So let me just zoom, let me scroll down. Here we go. For 64, same idea. We know the square root of 64, that's going to be 8. Now, why is that? Well, that's since 8 squared is 64. And since 8 is non-negative. Okay, again, it has to be non-negative. It's not enough just to say that its square is 64. You know, because negative 8 squared is 64. So it has to be non-negative. Okay, let's go now to, let me scroll down a bit. All right. So from here, the square root of 144, right? Okay, so what's that going to be? Well, we know that 12 squared, that's 144, right? That's true. But also, 12 is non-negative. So that tells us the square root of 144 is 12. I mean, you could, I mean, I know we have calculators, so that makes it, I guess, a little bit easier. But now you know why that's true, why it's programmed in the calculator the way it is. The next one's even easier for the square root of 0, right? Well, we're going to get 0. And that's since 0 squared is 0, and 0 is non-negative. You know, anything is greater than or equal to itself. So that's what we get here. Okay, that was fun. Are there questions on this? Okay, let me move on to the next one then. Okay, good. Let me see. Let me just zoom in a bit. All right, anyway, so for 56, it's not, it may not be obvious at first if it's simplified or not. Okay, so let's list some factors. We have 56, wait, let me write it out. So here are the factors of 56. Right, so, okay, so what are they? We're gonna have 1, we have 2, right? We have 4, Trying to think what else. We have, I think 6 is one. No, not 6, I'm sorry. 7, 8. Well, actually, we can stop right there. 8, thank you. 8, we can stop right here, actually, because 4 is a factor and 4 is a perfect square. So this is not simplified. That's okay. We can simplify it. Just do what we did before. It just fell off the page. That's okay. Anyway, so since it's not simplified, we can simplify it. So let's do that. Okay. So we know 56, right? That's going to be 4 times 56 over 4. And if you do that in your oh, for goodness sakes. Come on. There we go. Microsoft Whiteboard made an automatic shape. It thought I wanted to draw a triangle. So anyway, we got 4 times. I think that turns out to be 14. So yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. So what does that tell us? That tells us the square root of 56, right, is the square root of 4 times 14. Okay, and that's the square root of 4 times the square root of 14. We have the square root of 4 times the square root of 14. Okay, so that's good. Okay. And that's going to be 2 times the square root of 14. But again, we're really not done because we want to know if 14, the square root of 14, I mean, if that's really simplified or not. I mean, it turns out it is, but let's show it. Okay, so I'm going to have to go off the page here. Move this over. Oh, no. Come on. There we go. All right. So now let me write this down. So for 14, what are the factors of it? Well, we have 1, we have 2, we have 7, right? And I think 14, and 14, of course, and that's it. And only 1 is a perfect square. So it is simplified. So this is simplified. Okay, that's cool. So that's what we get here. Okay, good, good. All right, so we have that done. Any questions on that? All right, let me move on. Let me see if I can squeeze in one more. I think I can do that, but we shall see. Okay, so now for the square root of 40. Well, this is definitely not simplified. I think we saw that already, because if you look at the factors of 40, we have 1, we have 2, we have 4, and right away that tells us that's not simplified because 4 is a perfect square. Okay, well 40, that's equal to 4 times 40 over 4, which of course is 4 times 10. See if I can go through this quickly. So it's 4 times 10. So the square root of 40, that's the square root of 4 times 10. Let's see, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room, so let me quickly go here. And that's going to be the square root of 4, square root of 10, which is 2, square root of 10. Now, it turns out the square root of 10 is simplified. I mean, it's not terribly hard to see that because the only factors of it are 1, 2, 5, and 10. So this turns out to be simplified. All right, so I think we'll have to stop here. So at a time. So I do have office hours